Sefer HaBris says that Avas Ishto is Yoser Chomor Ahava Sina ki chelik minenu. Worse, to be over the Yisr of Losisna, or not to mekayim the mitzvah of the Avto Lecha Kamocha to your wife, or vice husband. V'hameirin yodo al Ishto afilu roi l'ruach hakodesh mistalek minenu. Person who raises his hand against his wife, even if the person's roi for ruach hakodesh, the Rebbe Shom's Shechina will leave him. So Maisa with Baruch Ber came to America, and he met a Talmud who had left the Yeshiva years before, and he was afraid that he went off the derech, came to America. The Talmud invited him, and he saw that he's still Ben Torah, extremely happy. So he invited him to his home. And he walks into the house, and his wife is listening to a record on the phonograph. So he went fast, turned off the phonograph. So Baruch Ber, because he wanted to show Baruch Ber, he's still from, he didn't want his wife to listen to the phonograph. So the phonograph is a thing where there were records. Something similar to these things, are a little bit bigger. And so Baruch Ber called him over and he said, why'd you turn off the phonograph? He said, because I was covered to the Rebbe. He said, did you ask your wife permission to turn it off? She was in the middle of listening to a record. You had the chutzpah to go and turn it off without at least explaining to her why you wanted to turn it off and ask her permission first. So sometimes fruitkeit is not necessarily not listening to records, but it's being mechabed your wife is also being fruit. The Chafetz Chaim recorded that this was his second wife, and he had to decide where to build his sukkah. So his wife told her, I think I want the sukkah over here. It would be much easier for me, kitchen-wise, whatever. So he built the sukkah there, and then his wife said, you know what, I think I changed my mind. I think it would be much better to have sukkah over here. Took the sukkah apart, put it over the second place. After the second place, she said, you know what, I think that maybe the first place was better. Took it apart, put it back. Kavod Ishto is an extremely important thing, and people seem to think that respecting and loving strangers is more important than your own family. Mela, children also. A person has a chiyuv to be mechabed and to love his children too. People think that children are your possession, you can do what you want with them. But the same halacha of avas reim applies to a child, may even apply to a baby. There was a Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, Tisha B'Av. His son was hungry, and he was chepping the father. He wanted to go home and eat. And the father's in the middle of kinnos, ignoring the kid. Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld told him that what you're doing is churban abayis. To messiah your child because you're saying kinnos, that's what will keep the Beis HaMikdash destroyed. You want the Beis HaMikdash to be built, go home and take care of your child. Know what the priorities are. What's the ikar and what's the tofel? So educating your children properly, and we're not going to go to all the halachas of education, but again, part of Avas Yisrael is loving your children properly. And loving them properly doesn't mean giving them everything they need. It means sometimes punishing them, and even sometimes hitting them. But a person who supports his children the proper way, supports them with discipline, supports them monetarily, supports them with food, and is mekayim the mitzvah of oset tzedakah b'chol eis. It's also tzedakah. It's also chesed. So we say this kinnos. We speak about these kehilas that were destroyed, and families that went al Kiddush Hashem together. It was much better to live al Kiddush Hashem together, to live the proper way. A person, mishpacha is from the lashon nispach, an attachment. People learn how to deal in society from the family relationships, how to accept authority, how to give authority, how to get along with siblings. All of that is a testing ground for how to get along in real society. And therefore it's important to practice Avas Hashem, Avas Yisrael, and to be careful with Sinas Yisrael within the family also, if not more important, because everything else comes from that. I'll say immediately after this kinnos, the kinnos that's supposed to be given out, the kinnos for European Jews.